All right, my friends, welcome back to Breaking Bricks. I'm your host, Neil. You know, this episode is about Brick World Chicago. You know, a lot occurred, a lot happened. It was a great weekend. I can definitely say that I went into this thinking one way with a plan and came out going, all right, I know how to go about it next time. So that's a definite. Some things happened that I wasn't expecting, which I thought was great. And we'll be talking about those kind of things here in the future as well. So, you know, it's going to be a couple episodes about things from Brick World. So, with that in mind, let's just move forward. So, right off the ripper, you know, there was a lot. I found it to be quite a bit overwhelming. You know, the first couple days that we got there, we kind of hung out in Chicago. So really, I was only there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That right there was a mistake, just because there was so much to take in. I didn't realize it was going to be that big. And there were people everywhere. You know, surprisingly enough, you know, big crowds of people, I don't exactly exhilarate in. But I do all right. You know, I prefer more of a quiet setting, you know, kind of like what's going on here, maybe a couple people most of the time. But, you know, the conventions are a lot of fun. It gives me a chance to reach out and talk to people, the creators of these builds, great friends that I've met in the Lego community throughout the United States and beyond at this point. So, right off the ripper in Brick World Chicago, I did a test of the smoke machine and I applied for the special effects category, and that's what I was going for. Well, I had my chances just shot. It was like getting kicked in the balls. I had security up my ass for 45 minutes. Yeah, I mean, they cut my balls, they cut my smoke, they told me I couldn't do it indoors. They told me that they were worried about me setting off the smoke detectors. Now look, I'm all about a little bit of chaos, shenanigans, fun, but I'm not about destruction. That is one thing I don't want to do. Right off the ripper, I'm not going to set off those smoke alarm detectors, because if I do, everything gets ruined. Right off the ripper, by water. So it is an indoor vapor. It is a fog machine. It's designed by engineers and chemists for indoor use. But when the steroid-headed, beefy, 6'8" guy who's got 4 arms bigger than my head comes up and goes, and I'll be honest, man, I argued with him for 45 minutes, but ultimately it's their house, their rules. I want to come back, so I just pulled the plug. We move forward, all right? But there was a lot of great builds, a lot of great builders out there. We got pictures. I did get some videos. I'm sorry if I didn't get your build on this video. Like I said, it was quite overwhelming for my first time. Next time I do this, I will have a better plan in play and we will move forward doing a much better job. So let's check out what we saw.
All right, overall, you know, there was 2 rooms of just displays. Like I said, it was huge. It was very overwhelming. A lot to take in at once. And right here was my pit mate, right next to me. These are some of the mock ships he was putting together for the show. Now this thing is great. Now, when they're there, this thing will actually move and bubble. And it was great. Alright, another neighbor. Some Clone Wars fighting stuff here. Now this, wow. What else can I say? A lot to this. This is just spectacular. You can actually see into it. It's just all over the place. Wow. Amazing. Alright, Naboo. Definitely a great mock here. Lots of good choices. It looks like they're still kind of working on it. And over here, you shall not pass. Lord of the Rings stuff. Well done, sir. Well done. Very impressed. Oh yeah, definitely. Over here we got another Star Wars build. A battle. Now it's interesting. Clones versus battle droids. Very interesting build though. Definitely a lot going on here. Well done, sir. Well done. Alright, what we got here? Alright, some castle work. His brickwork is definitely well done in these walls. Alright, now I love this thing. This reminds me of SeaWorld. This was just cool. Very cool. They put a lot of time into this. Well done. Well done. Now this was cool too. How they're building a big stormtrooper here. We will crush the rebels with a giant stormtrooper. I bet you he won't be able to aim and hit anything either. Alright, clone base. Well, not really a clone base. Droid base on Felucia. That's superb. One of the best Felucia builds I've ever seen. Alright, I like the working that they did in the streets there. That's well done. Alright, DuckTales. Very large build here. I almost want to see the bank with the giant vault with the ducks swimming in the coins. There it is, the bank. But you don't get to see him swimming in the coins. City of the future on the moon. Is that how things are going to be one day, all modular like that? In tubing. Will it be underground, under the water, or in space? Time will tell. Very well done. Rock work is superb. Now this is just kind of on the other side of that same build. Close to it anyway. Beam me up, Scotty. Now Spider-Man fighting Mysterio here from the movie. Using the AI tech in the glasses from Stark Industries that Tony Stark gave him after his death. This is very cool. And here comes the twist. What if? Alright, we got all kinds of little mocks here. Star Wars. City mock with a car. Fallout. Fallout's pretty cool. You can get specialized pieces at this show for Fallout if you're working on Fallout stuff. I love this CIS Tank 2 there. Cyberpunk. Very cool. Almost a Fifth Element feel to it. Very, very cool. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you look in this place, there's just awesome stuff. More Star Wars. You know, looking at all this stuff, ultimately, you know, I think the coolest thing about these events is meeting people and socializing a little bit, making some contacts. But the best part about it is just meeting the people that watch your YouTube. When they leave comments and you respond and you get a chance to talk to them at a show like this, checking these kind of things out, Firefly, phenomenal. Does mean a lot to me, so I do want to say thank you, and thank you again for watching, and look forward to talking to everybody soon. And let's just keep on checking out these Lego sets, man. Wow, Firefly's badass. Alright, now this is a pretty cool Clone Wars build. Almost looks like the, in fact it is the battle from Revenge of the Sith, I do believe, in the way it looks. Where's the Marines, man? He needs some Marines in here. Great work, great work. Alright, check this out. It's almost like cowboys versus aliens. Got a little bit of everything in here, really. Little this, little that. I bet you if you look hard enough, you might even find Batman's head on a lance. Oh yeah. All kinds of cool stuff in here. It's a pizzeria in space. His LED, or his LED lights, pretty good. I like the little blinkies. Gives it attitude. Keeps it moving. What's in here? Doo-doo-doo. Oh, hey. Mini kit. Alright. Castles. Decent. Mini. That's pretty cool. Off we go to battle. Dun 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 dun. Oh, check this out. This is pretty cool. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. You gotta love the fairy tale stuff. They always tell good stories with that kind of thing. Alright, Paul, man, this is his stuff, dude. This 1960s old hot rod stuff. Very cool, dude. Good friend of mine. Alright. We are getting there. Now this is probably the coolest thing in the whole show. Halo. In a way I've never seen done before. If I got anything in this video, I had to get this in here. It's wow. There's no other way to explain this build. They spent days working all day and all night to put this together before the show opened on Saturday. They put a lot of time and work into this. If I remember correctly, something like 12 to 18 guys. I'm not positive. There was quite a few of them. mean, even the motion, as subtle as it is, just the blades on the Warhawks here. Very cool. Be able to coordinate and plan this, to have the pieces all in one place. You know, these guys had to been taking quite a few months of planning and probably pre-building and everything that just went into this. Just wow. Yeah, I mean, even down to this video really does this build no justice. It's just superb. They get it hands down.
You know, my friends, I can honestly say that one of the coolest things that I found at Brickworld was graphic printing. I've been kind of wanting to dabble in a little bit of that, but you know, being able to print on bricks is a big deal. The better it looks, the better it comes out, the more you want to put that into anything that you're doing, whether it be Star Wars, Ninjago, City, Power Miners, whatever it might be. And I came across this place there at Brickworld called Eclipse Graphics. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they hooked me up with some bricks, yeah, and I kind of wanted to take a second to share them with you. And the reason being is because I came across, and I'm going to show you here in a second, this. Let me move my fingers here. Now, this is printed on individual bricks, okay? And overall, I love this. And I thought these kind of things would be awesome to add to my city side project. You know, Lego City versus Galactic Empire. Who's going to win that battle? We're going to find out. But, you know, to be able to build some mock buildings for some of the destructive stuff and to be able to add these kind of things, I thought would be awesome. Just to put them in there, little Easter eggs. And, you know, the printing on these is remarkable. And he even gave me the pizza box that goes with that pizza sign, as you can see here. Yeah. And of course, you know, we need to put in a dispensary. That's pretty cool. All right, and we got a couple more here. And then when you kind of get more into, depending on what you're into, last but not least, check that out. You know, overall, I'm going to put the website for this company down below in the description with this video. So if you decide that you want to put this kind of stuff into your city, you know, I'm definitely putting it in mine. I love this kind of print, man. He did a great job, and I'm very happy with how these came out and the way these look. So I'm definitely happy with this stuff. All right, back to the video. All right, my friends, you know, like I said, Brickworld was just a lot, you know, between all the great builds, you know, friends that I talk to on a regular basis, some new people I'm going to start to talk to on a new basis, and of course, moving forward with what I've got planned. But of course, if you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know I did a good job, and it suggests this kind of content to anybody out there that might be in the Lego building, engineering, or anything like that, because it's just fun. And you know, it kind of takes you out of the situation of the day. Of course, you know, you got a good idea, just want to talk Lego, Star Wars, or whatever it might be, put that down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you hit that subscribe button. For you, it takes you in a half second, but for me, it really does mean an awful lot. And I will see you here next time on Breaking Bricks.